Good morning, this is Wayne Belisle with another Smart Profit Maximizing Moment. We're going to switch for the next few weeks at least from talking about the help the government's giving you and the tax breaks the government is giving you to talking about what you need to do now. What you need to do in your business to save it during the COVID-19 shutdown, if you were unlucky enough to be one of the businesses shut down, and to survive the recession afterwards. I've been talking to quite a few financial people and bankers and financial planners over the last week, trying to get a feel for whether what I'm thinking is what they're thinking. And we're not far off. We're guaranteeing that, even after we reopen, we're looking at a recession. All right. In many ways, that's better for us. Okay. As business owners, I can tell you, I've had my business since 1991. I've been in the business world since the late 70s. Seen recessions come and go. So we know what to do with that. We don't know what to do with shutdowns, okay, other than to survive them. The analogy I'm trying to use right now is it's like you're on your boat and you're going across the lake or the ocean. You're going full speed. Things are great. Sun's up. Everything looks cool. And then you hit a reef. All right. Your boat's sinking, you're taking on water, you're shook up, maybe even hurt some. The government is throwing you a lifeline. Think of it that way. That's all it is. It's a lifeline. They throw you PPP loans, which if you're lucky enough to get, they've thrown you tax credits, they've sent stimulus payments, they've given tax breaks, they've delayed deadlines. All that is a lifeline, just to keep your boat afloat. That's it. All right. It's up to you as the business owner to get things back to normal. And the conversations I'm having with people is we're going to see a ripple. We're going to open and it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to show a ripple of how long it's going to take for the full effects of this shutdown to be felt. Probably all the way into November, December. All right. And for pretty much everybody agrees for every week we're shut, it's going to take another extra month on the back end before we pull ourselves out. Now, not every business is created equal. If you're unlucky enough to have a business that was shut down, hopefully you survived. Hopefully you had enough personal wealth, or your landlord was reasonable with you, or whatever. Hopefully you have, the PPP, maybe some loans, maybe the EIDL loans, maybe family loans, credit cards, whatever. Somehow you stayed alive. The other option is, and a lot of my clients are in this case, they're nervous. They feel it, but they've been allowed to stay open. They've been considered essential. I hate that word, because if somebody's willing to pay you for something for goods and services you provide, you're essential to the economy. And we're going to see that. I mean, we're really seeing that because of the recession that's going to hit. And we're thinking from 6 months on the fast side, which I totally doubt, 12 to 18 months, maybe 2 years before we come out. Expect unemployment to settle in around 8 to 10%, maybe a little bit higher after, for a while, maybe lower. Who knows? Because the PPPs are new. We don't know what effect they're going to have. There's a lot of pent-up demand. A lot of people were out there not spending money, and as they feel more comfortable, they will. But what I'm telling my business owners is plan for the worst. And I'll tell you why. If you do some of the things I'm going to talk about now, it'll hopefully get you through this recession, because it's worked in the past for other recessions with other businesses. But more importantly, like the 2007, 2008 through 2010 financial crisis, businesses that I helped that followed this outline really came out better. They survived and came out stronger afterwards, which is kind of the dirty little secret of what I'm going to talk about today. The dirty little secret of what I'm going to talk about today is that, truthfully, you're going to do better with your business no matter what. Shout out Samuel and Elisa. How you doing, guys? Glad to see you here. Let's talk about that. So what are the things you should do first, all right? First thing, I've already started. You have to adjust your attitude, all right? You have to, don't be too optimistic. You need to bring it down and look at reality. But don't be too low. we've been, once the businesses reopen, we're back in familiar territory. We're back into, okay, this is a recession, not good. People are going to suffer. Businesses are going to fail. I always tell my business owners, and I always tell myself, I will not participate in a recession. Too bad. You guys have a recession. I'm not gonna. Now, what it means is I got to work a little harder. So let's stop. Don't panic. Take a deep breath. Business owners have to understand, like I said, recessions are real and business failures severely affect you and your family. So what you need to do is do everything you can, all the things I listed, and get creative. Recessions are times business owners get creative. I've seen some real wealth coming out of recessions. Eliminate the blame game. Forget whose fault it was, doesn't matter, it's your fault. I always say, every time something goes wrong in the office, I tell people, it's my fault, let's figure out how to fix it. Because until you get rid of the blame game, you're not going to be able to fix it. Go into business overdrive, okay? When you're at your place of business, work only on business. Work on improving, all right? Work on improving your product, work on improving your service, work on improving your operations. That's the key. Understand that this is going to be hard. Assume you're in survival mode. This will be hard. Always keep success in mind. Success shouldn't be just getting back to where we were. Success is whatever your goals were before. Second, you have to have a detailed cash budget. I actually stopped yesterday and updated my budget. I have a severe budget that talks the list of clients, if you can do that. I mean, I know what clients I'm likely to have, so I put that in there. Roughly by month for the rest of the year, all my expenses, and I can sit down and see if I'm short or over. I can see what businesses I better call because they're important to my cash budget. I can see if I need to go out and get new business. I get an early warning. You don't want to find out today that you're going to run out of cash to pay payroll today. That's something you should know 2-3 months ago, that there's going to be a seasonality, a lull, okay? Obviously, you didn't know if you did a cash budget in January that the world 2020 was going to be a weird year, okay? So you adjust it as you go, all right? Next thing you need to do is cut costs brutally. Every cost has to be cut that is not essential to the customer experience and your survival, all right? So that doesn't mean get rid of everything unless you're seriously in survival mode. I mean, if you're shutting down and running out of cash, everything can go. I talked to a guy not too long ago, and he had a recurring charge that he said that he didn't know how to get rid of, and they wouldn't get rid of it. Call the bank, cancel a credit card. Call the guy back and say, as soon as I can get on my feet, I'll make sure we get back up. But I gotta be brutal right now. If you're in that I gotta get brutal right now mode, fantastic. But if do it. I mean, don't feel guilty about it. You gotta save yourself. As long as you're gonna make up for it later. I mean, that's the key. You're gonna come back later. You're gonna make up for it. All right. The next thing is, if you're not in that brutal survival mode, get rid of all the excess. I mean, get rid of everything, but don't cut things that are important to the customer experience or to you learning how to run your business more effectively. Educate yourself. That's important. All right. What I do is I review every single expense and look for things that are recurring that I'm no longer using. But the two places that I look at first and foremost anytime I'm coaching people is labor and product cost. All right. I sit down, I have a 50 some odd, checklist of ways to increase my gross profit, lowering product costs, raising prices, whatever, getting more efficient. And these are the two biggest things. Every time I sit down and look at a client's financial statement, I see 75 to 90% of every dollar going out is going out to labor or product costs. So you'll look at seeing what you can do to help you with your product costs. Call your suppliers. See if you can work out a better deal, get better terms. Keep your inventory low. Get as close to just-in-time ordering as possible. Take money down when they place the order and then order it as opposed to having an inventory. Have very minimal inventory, okay? Use the barter system if you have to. Cash is your king right now. It's the lifeblood of your business. Review your labor cost. Employees are often the largest cost an owner can control. Cut anything that's not essential. Cut hours if you have to. Hire temps as needed. Initiate temporary unpaid furloughs. Hate to do that. But think about it like an airplane. When you get on there, the stewardess or steward tells you, if the oxygen mask drops, put yours on first. Then take care of your child or anybody else that's traveling with you. You got to do the same. If you don't take care of your business, when you get back on your feet, you can bring people back. But if you fail, they're all gone. and so are you now. All right. I think I covered enough there. I don't want to get into a heck of a lot of detail. One thing to buy a little time that I've played, if you have a good credit card with a limit, I have a couple of people who basically pay with their vendors with a credit card, and then 30 days later pay the credit card. It doesn't cost them anything, but it buys them an extra 30 days. Fourth, speed up customer collection. I already talked about that a little bit. Take down payments with the order. Just tell them, based on what's going on right now, I need to do that because, I'm really having to cut my costs in order to order the material to fulfill it. Look, what the heck, if they're not willing to pay you then, they're going to fight you to pay you later, okay? I send out the invoice as soon as you do the work. I was guilty of that for a very long time. I billed at the end of the month, like every CPA did. Now when I finish tax return, I finish any work, boom, the bill goes out. Yeah, sometimes I have to pull the bill back, but so be it. If you do have receivables and in a time of recession and when everybody's got tight money, things that need, like lights need to be on, I'm going to pay the utility bill. Everything else is negotiable. Okay, the squeaky wheel gets the payment, so be sure, be sure you're the squeaky wheel. Finally, commit the time and energy to your sales and marketing program. Once you've cut your costs, don't give up on marketing, because you have a really good advantage sometimes during. My clients that I work with have a huge advantage during recession. I'm assuming once we're open and we're in the recession period, because business owners, a lot of competition has disappeared, so the competition is less. What's left, a lot of them are like, I'm going to save every dollar and I'm not going to do any marketing, okay? I don't have the people, they don't have as many staff, they don't feel like they can do it, they're working the same old hours, they're not improving. Business customers are being more frugal, but not necessarily cheap. They're looking for bargains, but not necessarily the cheapest product. So figure out a way to do that. I would educate yourself. Like I said, one of the books I would do to try to find some ideas is Guerrilla Marketing. It's an old classic by J. Conrad Levinson. Get a marketing plan, get a sales plan, commit at least 1 hour a day to calling current customers. They're going to be your key. Be honest with them, man. We're trying to stay alive. We've enjoyed your business. I don't know if, we're all in this together. We're struggling. Tell me how I can help you. Always end with that. How can I help you? All right. Commit at least 1 hour a day to marketing to new customers. That can be reaching out and getting, reaching out to a banker, reaching out to an influencer, somebody who can send you customers. That can be working with somebody to put an ad together. That could be work in social media. It can be almost anything, whatever your marketing and sales plan came up with. Remember that before somebody buys from you, they have to know you, like you, and trust you. All right? They have to know about your products and service, be convinced that your product or service will solve their needs or wants, and trust that your company is the one that can deliver on what they promised. All right? Finally, look for outside source of funds. I said finally twice, I'm going to say it a third time. So I'm going to say 6. Look for outside sources of funds. All right? Credit cards, family, almost anything. You got PPP loans, EIDL loans, whatever. Don't be afraid to look for them, okay? Ask your customers for prepayments. I have a complete free course on that in my Kajabi area. I'll send you, if anybody wants it, shoot me an email and I'll send you the link, all right? Borrow from your spouse's 401k. IRS has a cool deal. You can borrow from your IRA or 401k and not pay the penalty if you repay it in a certain amount of time. And then even if you don't repay it, the tax is spread out over 3 years and there's no penalty. So get a second loan on your home. Don't be shy. Sell anything excess. I mean, if you got a second or third or fourth car you're not really using, a vacation home, a boat, whatever, get rid of it. Get loans from families and friends. Finally, don't be afraid. Don't try to do this by yourself. I promise you, and I promise my clients that I'm going to get the coaching started probably in late May, early June. Going to bring the price down to something that people can afford, because my commitment is to help my clients stay alive. That's why I literally have done over 50 of these PPP loans and even more of the employee retention credits I'm setting up. All right, because I'm trying to help my clients stay alive. And that's really what we want to do as far as the coaching. So pay attention. I'm still going to do all this free stuff that I do because my goal is to do what I always end every video with, which I'm going to do right now. Hey, let's work together to make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.